Hey guys, and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you the pronunciation of 10 advanced English words so that you can keep your fluency and your rhythm naturally flowing and never feel like you're tripping over a word or that you're avoiding a word because you're not sure how you're supposed to say it. I know for me personally, if I'm not sure how to pronounce a word in one of my other languages, or if I say the word but I hear that I said it incorrectly, this can totally jam my fluency and my rhythm and the naturalness of my speech. And I hear this a lot from a lot of my clients, so perhaps this is true for you as well. I'll mention as well that if fluency is a topic that you're interested in, a few weeks ago I made a fluency masterclass, so if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I'll put a link for you above. Alright, so let's get right to it, you guys, with our 10 words. I will briefly mention the definition of these words because some of them are a little bit obscure, but I want you to kind of remember the 80-20 principle. So if you're hearing one of these words and you're thinking, I've never, ever heard this in my entire life, then that's probably not a word you need to focus on and really work on, right? So only focus on practicing the words that are important to you that you use in your daily life and in your business. So our first word is ambulatory. Ambulatory. So this is a word that's often used in healthcare settings, and that's when I first started hearing and using this word. Prior to that, I don't think I ever really came across this word. So my first job at a graduate school, I worked in a neurorehabilitation center. So I worked with a lot of patients that had suffered a brain injury, and ambulatory refers to a patient, so usually someone under some kind of medical care that is able to walk, so they're not wheelchair bound. So ambulatory has 5 syllables. The first syllable is a nasalized a sound because of that M after it, so it's am. The second syllable is bia, bia. So b, y, schwa, ambia, ambia. Then we have la, so another schwa. Then we have tor, and then we have re with a tense e at the end. What's my strongest syllable when I say ambulatory? Is the first, right? So you could say, the patient coming in this afternoon is ambulatory. So the next word is plastic. Plastic. And obviously this is an extremely common type of material. So no, this is not a word that I just recently started to use. However, plastic has many definitions. So the definition that I started using again in my professional life refers to the meaning of plastic as being something that's flexible or able to change, as in our brains are plastic. So our brains aren't fixed for life, they're constantly changing and evolving. So I'll mention it again, but given that I worked in neuro rehab, of course, this is a word that was very frequently used. So in plastic, there are only 2 syllables. The first vowel is a tense a sound, so make sure it's not pla, it's pla. And then the second syllable is stick, kind of like a stick you might find outside in your yard with a lax I sound. Plastic. The brain is amazing and plastic. So our next word is lucid. Lucid. So this means if something's easy to understand, clear, you can say a person, they have lucid thoughts, meaning that, you know, they're with it. You can follow what they're saying pretty easily. It makes sense. So lucid has 2 syllables. The first one is lu. So the trick with lu is that vowel. It's not a u. It's not a pure vowel. It's moving. Lu, lu. And then the second syllable is sid. So s, lax, I, d, sid. Lucid. The next word is meticulous. Meticulous. This means having really great attention to detail. So meticulous has 4 syllables, and how many of them are schwa when I say meticulous? So 3 of them, pretty amazing. So the first, the third, and the fourth, they're all schwas. The second syllable, the non-schwa, is by default our winner. It's a lax I sound. She is very meticulous. Our next word is perfunctory. Perfunctory. So this means that something is being done, but without much interest or care. It's just kind of like you're going through the motions, but you're not invested in what you're doing. So perfunctory has 4 syllables. The first one is per, and the second one is kind of interesting. So it looks like F-U-N. It looks like fun, but we don't say perfunctory because that K is velar. We're gonna make the N velar, which makes it an N. If that sounds totally like gibberish, just think of the N, both being nasals, but we want the N to be produced back here because that's where our tongue is gonna be for the K. So we're assimilating those 2 sounds. We're bringing them closer together. So instead of perfunctory, which is even difficult to say, it's perfunctory, as if it was fung, fung. The third syllable is t, so ti schwa, and then ri is our final syllable, perfunctory. So our next word is innocuous. Innocuous, and this simply means harmless. So in innocuous, there are 4 syllables. The first one is a schwa. The second one is our winner, na. Then we have q, like the name of the letter. And then wus, so W, schwa, S is our final syllable. Innocuous. So our next word is dogmatic. Dogmatic. And what this one means is that if you say something that is your opinion, but you state it as if it were fact. So you can say, for example, I liked her new book, but it was a little bit dogmatic, meaning, she's presenting something as if it's the whole truth and nothing but the truth, but really maybe it's her own very biased opinion. Dogmatic has 3 syllables. The first one is dog with a back ah sound, just like the pet, a dog. The second syllable, our winner, is ma, and then we have an alveolar flap, and then uk, so schwa k, dogmatic. Next up, we have the word euphemism. Euphemism. And a euphemism is a word or a phrase that you use to kind of soften the blow and not use a more harsh or offensive word. So for example, let's say your coworker got fired. That's kind of a strong word. There might be a lot of emotions. So instead of saying he got fired, you might say to someone who asks, oh, he left to pursue other interests. So it's still true, right? But it's a much softer, gentler way of saying it. So it's a euphemism. So euphemism has 4 syllables, a lot of 4-syllable words in our list today. So our first syllable is you, with that moving oo sound that we saw earlier. The second syllable is f, so f schwa. Then the third syllable is mi, with a lax I. And then our final syllable is z schwa m, zum, euphemism. The next word's corroborate. Corroborate, and this means to add information to support an existing idea. So in corroborate, there are again 4 syllables. That wasn't on purpose. The first and the third are what? Corroborate. They're schwa, right? The second syllables are winner, ra, and then the last one is 8. Corroborate. And then our final word is perseverating. Perseverating. This word is also very specific to certain contexts, and I don't think that before graduate school, in which I studied speech-language pathology, that I came across this word often at all. Perseverating basically means that you continue doing an action once the stimulus that caused that action is gone. So to give you an example, let's say someone said to you, hey, how are you doing? And you said, I'm fine. So that's appropriate, right? But then let's say that the whole entire rest of your day, you kept going up to people and saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, without a clear reason for doing so. We could say that you're perseverating. So it's kind of like your brain got stuck on that phrase that's coming out. And perseveration is also something that you see often after someone's had a brain injury. So again, at my job in neuro rehab, it's a word that we used a lot because it's an action, it's a behavior that we saw frequently. So in perseverating, there are 5 syllables, and the first one is per, the second one is the winner, se, the third one is v, so a v schwa, then a ray, alveolar flap, and then ing. Perseverating. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.